Honey, my self-image was fucked up. Okay, peace. All right, I hope you guys are having a phenomenal day. If not, do understand, honey. Do get, okay? Once you change your perception, okay, everything is going to change. First off, if you guys are new to my channel, my name is Dina Bryant. I do these inspirational videos just talking about life, okay? Today's video is pretty much about self-image, okay? And how to change your self-image. Honey, I'm still working on this, okay? So let me just be very clear and transparent with you guys because I'm still working with this because your self-image is, is an ongoing thing, right? Is the way you perceive yourself to be, is the belief systems, is the pathologies, the traditions that we tend to follow, okay? And how did I get started working with self-image? Well, first off, I had received a large sum of money from a lawsuit, okay? To be very honest, okay, that's what happened. And at the time, I already knew that if I used this lawsuit money to buy clothes, to dress up my outside appearance, that, honey, I was finna be getting the same exact thing, okay? I was going to, be looking for validation, wanting people to, compliment me. Girl, them shoes is fierce, okay? Wanting people to do those things, and I still was going to feel incomplete, okay? So I knew, because at this time I had my spiritual awakening, and awakening is just awareness, okay? And so I already knew that, Dina girl, if you do that, okay, if you take that money and go shopping, okay, you already know what's going to happen. Now, did I go shopping? Absolutely, positively, okay? But what I did, I made sure I started investing, okay? Personal development, okay? I made sure that I had started investing in myself. I'm not saying, not to go shopping or not to do the things that you once upon a time used to do. But what I feel to have seen worked in my life was investing in me. It is essential, okay? Because let me tell you something, honey. If you can understand you can understand other people. Because you once too was just like other people, okay? And so I remember it was this ad that came on. Now at this time I was, into personal development. I started watching, people like Les Brown, Lisa Nichols. So I really was in personal development, but I wanted to take it a step beyond, okay? And I never forget, I was on here, YouTube, and it was an ad that came on, and the person in the ad at the time, I had no clue who he was, okay? And it was the late, great Bob Proctor. Honey, I don't know what it was. Well, I do kind of know what it was about Bob Proctor in that video, in that ad. Honey, he was getting off a private plane, okay? And that did something to me, okay? Because I said, oh, I want to fly like that, okay? And one of the things he said was the subconscious mind. He talked about the subconscious mind in the ad. And I was like, the subconscious mind? Because I had heard people, like rapper B.O.B. talk about the subconscious mind, and, Jim Carrey, different people, like when I first got into personal development. And so what I seen was, Bob Proctor had a number, he had a website, and he was like, if you are interested or if you serious, if you want to change your life for the better, you can. And I was like, I want to change. And it felt like synchronicity. It felt like the universe was speaking to me through Bob Proctor. It felt like the universe was like, well, Dina, if you serious about changing your life, this is the opportunity. And so one thing led to another. I had got on a call with one of Bob Proctor's consultants from Bob Proctor's Proctor Gallagher Institute. And the consultant about Proctor was telling me like it was 7,500, right, for me to get into the program with Bob Proctor, like be mentored by Bob Proctor. And it wasn't gonna be like just one-on-one, honey. This was like a few people that was in the program, okay? And we was gonna be doing seminars, like conferences through via Zoom. So at first I was scared, honey. I ain't even gonna hold you. I was so goddamn nervous because I was like, damn, this is, a bit much. But you know how I knew I was serious about change? First of all, I told Bob Proctor's consultant, I was like, listen, I am scared to put up 7,500, okay, or at one time. And the consultant pretty much, his name was Andres, was pretty much like, oh, well, if you want, you could make like monthly payments and stuff like that. And it wasn't that I didn't have the money, it was the fear, right? Like, so that's one of the things that you're gonna see, like when changing your self-image, is going to be belief systems that's going to show up at your door, waving the 4-4, okay? It's gonna be belief systems that's going to show up. But what you have to realize, you choose if you want better. See, I was eager for better. And the first payment, I had paid $2,500, okay, for the first payment. And then after that, each month, I paid $1,500 to complete the 7,500. And was I afraid? Absolutely, okay, because it was something new. It was something different. I never put that much money up on, in regards to me changing my belief systems. I never even heard nobody, that was in my circle at the time talk about they are investing into themselves so they could change their belief system. So how did I start changing my self-image? Well, one, that was one of the ways I started changing my self-image, okay? I started understanding that I am worthy, okay? That I am deserving. And so it allowed me to make the payment even though I was afraid to do so, okay? I used to have this self-image, and yesterday I was pre-recording this video, but then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it today, okay? Because it was like, it just wasn't coming out right. So my self-image, 3 things that I noticed about myself, right? And the self-image I had of myself. One of the things was me being in relationships, okay? I used to feel that in order for me to believe, to be in a relationship, I have to do everything as the girlfriend, right? Like, I'm giving this dude wifey benefits, honey, and honey ain't even put a ring on it, okay? But that was one of my self-images because I felt like gender roles. And although I would probably say, oh, I don't believe in it, honey, I was living it, okay? So that meant me cooking, cleaning, oftentimes even having sex with the dude that I'm in a relationship with when I do not want to have sex with him, okay? But I felt like if I didn't do it, that he would go somewhere else, that he would mess with somebody else. And so I would go against myself to try to make him happy. And let me tell you something. You cannot make anyone happy, okay? Happiness is inner peace. Happiness is you understanding it is a choice, okay? You cannot make anyone happy, and it is an illusion, okay? You can add on to their happy, but you can't make them happy. So that was one of the self-images. Another self-image of mine that I once used to have was from me going through abandonment when I was a child, right? What I seen was, relationships too. I would get into relationships and oftentimes I would kick the person out, kick the guy out because I felt like it was just a matter of time before he left, okay? I felt like, I started thinking, and this subconsciously, by the way, but those programs that I have invested in, it helped me start becoming aware of the things that I was doing. See, let me tell you something, honey. You cannot change your self-image if you're not aware of how you are showing up. Okay, you have to be aware, and then from awareness is a choice. Okay, and so I would kick guys out because I would be like, it's just a matter of time. He's just gonna leave me. It felt safe to do that because I didn't want to deal with eventually the heartbreak. Okay, so that was two. The third one was me, well, is because I'm still working on this. It's me feeling like I have to work hard in order to prove my self-worth. That one is something for me. Okay, when I first started doing videos in 2018 on Facebook, right, I found my purpose, and my purpose is to teach. Okay, and not teach like professor wise, but teach from experience, from the things that I have gone through. Okay, because honey, if you look, some of my grammar, it be off. Okay, just letting you know now. Okay, but to teach from my experience and from the things that I learned from life, right? And I would do videos constantly from 2018 up into probably like 2021. I posted every day on Facebook. Every single day I showed up, honey, several times a day. Okay. Now, yes, it was me being passionate about it, but it was some points and parts where as though I felt like, well, let me just make this video because if I make this video, this is going to be the video. And if I make this video, the harder I work, the more success I see, the more worthy I would be. Okay. And that's still with me because even at times now, I'm making videos and I'm like, well, let me just make, and is this book that I had started reading. Okay. This book. Okay, so I've been talking about this book like for a minute. Okay, is The Mystic Path of Cosmic Power. This book, honey, it is such a phenomenal read. In fact, Bob Proctor, he had recommended this book before. Okay, but what I seen was in this book, it talks about how humans, how we tend to work so much on our businesses or work on exterior things as opposed to like really working on ourselves. And the more you working on yourself, the more you're going to see that your life is going to change. Far as all the wealth that you want, far as all the peaceful, healthy, giving, kindness relationships that you want to have in your life, all those things are going to start coming to you. Why? Because you started working on yourself. You started evolving. You started changing your self-image. Okay. Another one that I noticed was, and the self-image is just the belief systems, is the habits that's in the subconscious mind, is our values. What do we value? And another thing that I noticed was even far as eating. Okay, so in 2018 when I had my spiritual awakening, I was plant-based. Okay, I was eating just mainly like things like arugula, watercress, spirulina. I was eating like a lot of healthy things. Okay, and what I seen was, even now, I feel like, if I was to eat meat, sometimes this is like subconsciously, and I became aware of it. Sometimes I'm like, well, if I eat that, then I'm not going to be as successful or whatever. Now, you have to do what works for you. Okay. One of the things that I love about spirituality is you being authentic to yourself. Okay, because if you're trying to follow somebody else's path, it's going to lead you astray from your own path. Okay, and what I started telling myself, well, Dina, is other people that is not fully plant-based or not plant-based, and they very successful. Okay, so all those things are belief systems. Okay, is what we constantly tell ourselves. It's constantly what we thinking. It's constantly what we value or whatever it is, okay? I was gonna tell you guys, okay, and then another one that I seen was relationships, getting back to relationships. Honey, could you tell, I'm on it with the relationships. Another thing that I seen was me being in relationships settling, right? Because at the time I had 2 children. Okay, nowadays it's like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because nowadays it's like, I don't necessarily want to say like I be looking for a reason not to talk to a guy, but it's like I'm very like cautious, and like I definitely pay attention to the red flags. Like once I'm starting to talk to a guy, like in the beginning stages, okay, like I pay attention to the red flags. But once upon a time, a belief system that I had, okay, a self-image that I had was that if I have children, I could not be with someone that is going to accept me and love me, right? Because I have children. And oftentimes what that allowed was me to accept or to settle for not any type of guy, but settle for a guy that I most likely, if I didn't have children, I would not have dated. Okay. And the reason being is because society says if you are, especially not even necessarily just, a female, but a male too. But if you are, if you have children, you're a mother and you have children, then the chances of you meeting somebody that's going to love you, accept you, and accept your children are pretty slim to none. Okay. And if you listen to society, even your family may say this, right? If you listen to society's the picture that they have painted for people, you will be living a very, very unhealthy, unhappy life, okay? Because everything is what we give meaning to, okay? So I started changing my self-image by working on myself, right? By meditating, investing in myself, by understanding I am worthy, I am deserving, okay? And also understand that money is energy. Okay, money is energy. If I remember one of the things Bob Proctor Consultants had said to me, Andreas, he had said to me when I put the money up to 2,500 up, and I told him, I was like, I'm extremely scared to do this, right? And that's crazy just to think like what type of mindset at that time I was in, because I was so afraid to invest in myself. And it's because you are not around stuff like that, right? So your environment, one of the people who talks a lot about this is Bruce Lipton, who talks about epigenetics, but he also talks about, give me a child. And I think this is like I don't know if this like a slogan or something, but I know he says like, give me a child, or the Greeks knew this, like, give me a child from ages 0 to 7, and you can tell how that child is going to grow up to be, because what that child is exposed to. Because at that time, from 0 to 7, I believe that we pretty much were in data state, right? Data state is like sleepy state, like dreamy state. It's like where the subconscious mind is like mainly open and receptive to information, almost like a sponge, like, okay? But that's pretty much like how I started changing my self-image. I started understanding that I want better, so I started doing better. Also, I started doing things that scared me. That's another thing, because the reason those things that you really want to do, but you're afraid to do because it scares you, the reason why you are afraid to do it is because of the belief systems, right? One of the things I remember as a child, my mother always used to say how terrified she was of heights. And so how I started dismantling that belief system within my own subconscious mind, I got on a helicopter. Okay, I started walking a bridge from New Jersey to New York. Okay, because I wanted to dismantle that belief system. I am going to evolve. Okay, and so I hope this video helps you guys, how to change your self-image. This is not like a one-time thing. This is like a continuous thing. This is not like a quick fix or anything like that. It takes time to change your self-image, but most importantly, what's important is awareness. Okay, awareness and being around people that are willing to grow, willing to evolve. Another thing I remember, I had heard Tony Robbins. He had this thing where so he talk about the mirroring, right? Mirroring successful people and how we could mirror people and do the things that successful people do. So if you want to change your self-image, you have to be around people that are changing their self-images, people that's willing to grow, people that is not stagnated or, allowing their past circumstances to stop them from wherever it is that they want to be or wherever it is they want to go. Okay. And so with that being said, make sure you guys comment, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. Let me know how you change your self-image and what are some of the steps that you do in order to change your self-image. Or let me know what are some of the things that you are aware of that you have a certain self-image of yourself. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.